Morning. Got a video I wasn't really planning on making, but I thought that maybe somebody might be interested in this. Last time we spoke, I was working on the bottom of the box, which has now been cut to the length its size. We will be rounding over the edges. So now I'm cleaning up the outsides of the box, and I have started out by planing the boxes, and you go from each side because you don't want to hit these unsupported fibers. Everything will break out. But with Mahogany, I'm trying to get my camera in a different position. It looks like you can see it on the camera here. You've got light, dark, light, dark. These are reversing grains on here. So when you plane it, like right here, I can see there's some tear out, and I'm using kind of a raking light. That's why I'm doing that. And there's some chatoyance in there too, so that when the light hits it, gives it a really nice look. And this is the back. I got some more tear out over here. And it's because when you're planing from one way, like I've got to plane from the outside in, and if the grain here is rising up as the plane hits it, it tears out that grain. And so I can't plane this way because then this will all come off and tear out. So what we do is use a card scraper. You can also use a cabinet scraper, but I find it easier with the smaller surface to use a card scraper, and it just looks like a regular piece of steel. And although you can't see it, I can feel the edge. And just to give you a quick, let's see if I can do this upside down. The card scraper will make it a little bit bigger than it needs to be. That's what it looks like. It just looks like a regular piece of steel on there. But what we do is we take this edge right at the top and we curl it over. So it's not really, I wouldn't call it sharp, it's a hook. And then when we push that against there, the shavings gonna get caught in there, and they don't have a chance for the wood fibers to break. So that's what, albeit this looks to be just a big regular flat thing, when I rub you can see my nails getting caught on it. There's a hook on there. So that's what the card scraper does. So generally what I do is I start by giving it a light sanding, and because I hand plane this, I'm not going through the whole sanding process of like a 100, 120. I'm going right with 180, and mostly because I don't have a 220 grit right now, so I'm just going right to the 180. I won't do any more than this. And what that does, I can see the dust in the sections that are torn out. So what I'm going to do is take the scraper, and you can hear it. It's not really, scraper's kind of a bad name because it's not really scraping. It is cutting the wood fibers, but that is how you get rid of cross grain. Because no matter how sharp your plane is, or my plane is, there are some grains, some woods you just can't, you just can't plane. It won't work because it's like I said, especially with Mahogany, you have the reverse grain. It just is. Works beautifully, looks great when it's done, but because of the nature of the tree, and I don't know botanically speaking why it happens, just that it does. And it's well worth the effort because it's beautiful to look at, especially once you get the finish on there. So I can still see when I sanded, I still have a little bit up here. And I'm going to go through, and the problem with doing this, if I just keep going right there, I'm going to hollow that section out. So you'll notice I try to get the immediate area, and then the strokes get a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, because you got to take all the area around it down. So it's no longer as perfectly flat as it was once I planed it, because the sole of the plane keeps things flat. This doesn't have a sole, so I can dip things and do everything, but you'll never see it. If you put a tool down, a straight edge, you'll see that it's not perfectly flat. But if you're looking at it, you'll just see a nice pretty surface. And right now I keep going back to the sanding because when you sand tear out, this sand particles, the very light fluffy sand gets stuck in there, and it makes it a lot easier to see. And I'll also use a flashlight with what they call a raking light, so very low, and that makes it easy to see. I still have what's over here until I get a point where right here I don't see any more, pockets of dust-filled areas. But that's why I start in a small area and then go out wider, because that will lessen the dips and the hollows in there. All right, so now, because I'll run into the same problem if I take the scraper and I go that way across the end grain. So I'm going to turn it around. I could stand on the other side and do the same thing. And I'm intentionally keeping the jaws so that way these two sides are compressed. Gives me a nice sturdy hold, but I'm not in danger of breaking any of the joints that way. And we're got up here. All right. Oops, still got a little bit more to go. This is tough because I don't have a big starting area, but you can see here I can go both ways without causing tear out. Like if I were to plane that way, well, clearly it didn't work here. So like this side I would have to plane this way, but I can only come so far before I hit that and run off the edge, and that's still not fully down, although it's better. And not sure that you can see it. This is flexing. So I'm actually bending it to get the very leading edge down to the wood. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of pushing up with this hand, pushing down with that, in order to get it right where I want it. And I think we're just about done. That's not quite good yet, so let's keep going. Most things will not take this much effort. Like I said, it's the nature of mahogany. And in my opinion, well worth the effort to do it. And no, there's still just a little bit more there. And try to get a little bit off to the side so I can come lower. And that I am perfectly happy with. That is acceptable to my level of abilities. And a couple of scratches, but yeah, they're coming right out. I've already done that all the way around the box, and like I said, I wanted to do that before gluing on the bottom, because it's just so much easier to get to these edges if there's nothing impeding. We'll get rid of those corners. I'll probably hit that with a plane later, but again, before it's all glued up, it just feels so nice. And that right there, what you saw, that's the only sanding I have done to this side. And that I will do. That for people that don't like sanding, hand tool woodworking is the way to go. And I'm just kind of feeling for any areas that may need to be done, but nope. That is all finished. I've gotten all the sides done. The next step is to I've got to take the bottom, which right now this is the top, but I got to take the bottom. I've got to mark on the bottom itself where it's going to go within the box, round the edges over, and then it will get glued on. And after that, it's either the top or the drawer that'll get worked on next. I haven't really figured that part out. But yep, sanding and scraping. That's how we take care of the edges, or the tear out that comes out on the sides. I'll talk to you soon.